some therapy dogs in here for my colleagues on the other side? Mr. Chairman, would it be possible to get some therapy dogs in here for my colleagues on the other side of the aisle?
We could ask Mr. Raskin Shrink to.
I'm worried about their mental stability.
He's not joking about Jamie Raskin really did hire shrinks for the Democrats too, so they'd stop losing their minds every time something happens. Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of He Said, She Said. He really said that, Michael.
Oh, I know. And like, he's not joking. These people are losing their minds more every day. Like, they don't even know what to react to anymore. And, you know, they think like telling us like how bad it is, how they're like getting sick. They can't even go into DC anymore without feeling the stress and the pressure. Like somehow it's going to make us feel sorry for them. No, that's like confirms that you're all moonbats and you shouldn't be there to begin with.
Agreed. And here's the thing, you know, Michael, I'm one of those people. I'm more of a, you know, let's not mock them, let's not make fun of them. But you can't make this up. It's crazy. And it's also, to be fair, I caught this originally on Derek Evans' X account, right? And I watch it, and by the way, there's so much AI lip sync changes stuff that I'm like, maybe that's what happened. Maybe somebody put an audio, voiceover on it. I watch them like, this is real. What is happening to our government? Like, this is a government of America, like the country that everybody used to be so afraid of, the powerful and all. I'm like, I'm a little embarrassed, just a little.
Yeah, like it's not a parody, but it should be. Like, this would be an episode of Saturday Night Live with all these DNC whack jobs sitting there with their therapy dogs while they melt down and cry about their new problems. You know, there's another observation I had earlier, kind of related to this. You know, they're all just absolutely losing their minds right now about USAID, but they're not, trying to justify the spending or say that it was good in some way or benefited Americans. They're just mad that Elon Musk has cut out their piggy bank.
Yes, but okay, I'm just gonna say it, and I know it's very mean, but I have a lot of complaint to get through today. But one thing I will say is, once in a while, it is good to witness these kind of meltdowns, let's call them, right? Yeah. Because it feels like, Michael, we joke, we laugh, especially me and you, we kind of have figured out sense of humor gets us through this madness. But in all seriousness, sometimes I feel like our fellow Americans need to witness this kind of thing. Because I promise you, 90% of people out there are like, wait, what? Wait. I have had more people in last week tell me that they have come to realize how bad things were in last 4 years than in the last 6 months of last 4 years. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think this has been eye-opening for a lot of people when they see where some of this money is going. And I'm not just talking about, transgender operas and Uruguay or whatever, but some of the other stuff. Like, we found out Politico couldn't make payroll yesterday. Well, we don't have this confirmed yet, but it sounds like it had something to do with that $8 million they were receiving from USAID. I mean, I think this is huge, and we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg so far. Mm-hmm. I get why the left is freaking out right now. This is their slush fund. It wasn't just the CIA's. And that's getting exposed. I think that's good for all America. And a lot of people are waking up when they see this stuff, when they see how much money they were dumping to journalists to write fictitious stories or launder stories for the CIA or the deep state or whoever else. I mean, it's really been eye-opening. And they're like, this is just the tip of the iceberg. We haven't even got to the CIA or the FBI yet and releasing documents there. So, like, the show's just beginning right now. I mean, as Derek keeps saying in the morning, the left is going to need to pace themselves. This is going to go on for a while. They need to keep some powder dry for the real problems in our that they're going to need to deal with, especially if some of those lead to criminal charges for any of them. And let's not forget, the American people wanted this. So pretending somehow Elon Musk and Doge are evil for going in and exposing all this. This is bringing in sunshine. This is bringing the truth out to everyone now. And we're seeing exactly what they were trying to conceal behind closed doors and would continue to conceal if we didn't have somebody in there actually doing something about it right now. But it hasn't all been sunshine and rainbows. So other things going on too, which we're going to discuss tonight.
Yes, very true. And before we dive really deep, Emma has decided to join me over here. She's literally chewing my hand for whatever reason. As soon as we get on air, our pets decide that they need attention. Anyhow, thanks for the distraction, Emma. We appreciate it. Before we do that, number one, remember, guys, I do have my eyes here on the comments section. So you're part of this program. We kind of bounce off of your questions, comments, suggestions, opinions. So come on and join the discussion on the chat. We are live on Rumble, YouTube, and X. You can find us on X, America News. It is giant on the lower third, so everybody can see it and read it. Find us, whichever one is your preferred platform. We are also live on Facebook on my page. So go subscribe, follow, whatever that platform requires. Can we just keep them all one thing? Anyways. And this is not the only show on X America News. I'm going to quickly try to use my memory. Michael, help me if I forget something. We have Monday through Friday in the morning. You can catch in the Insurrection, Michael Lauber and Derek Evans. We have Paul Harrell, right? Did I say his name correct?
Yep, Paul Harrell, the Millstone Report, right at noon. Then going into Shannon Joy at 1 o'clock.
2:30.
And 2:30.
Yes, we go to Shannon Joy 2:30 to 4 p.m. And then on Mondays and Fridays, you can catch Live Up to Freedom at 7 to 8 p.m. On Tuesday, Thursday, you can catch Mission for Freedom with Miriam Shaw. On Wednesdays, you can catch us, He Said, She Said, at 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We have some weekend shows coming on. Anyhow, there's a lot of good coming, but you all know the rule. We can't make the good things happen without you subscribing, following, tweeting, retweeting, sharing, liking, all of that stuff. So head over.
We forgot about the American Radicals, 9 a.m. You can find Steve Friend, FBI whistleblowers, Steve Friend, and Garrett O'Boyle on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
We love them both, and I forgot. I'm sorry, guys. We're still building this whole lineup up, so it's like I remember part, you remember part, but and the website will be out soon, Lord willing, this weekend. You can find all of this under one umbrella of xamericanews.com. But until the weekend, just go on platforms of Rumble, X, and YouTube for sure, and you can find us there. And let's get some truth telling out. Let me use this, and I'm gonna. I feel like I need to say this, Michael. Feel free to laugh. It's okay. If you see me a little uncomfortable here, since the last time I was on air, I did not go and grow a double chin. I woke up this morning to a cyst under my chin. I am so uncomfortable. I feel like everybody's just seeing this, Michael.
You should have put on the hijab just for today.
Here's my hijab. Am I gonna get a hijab on? Here, I have a proper hijab. But yeah, so just don't mind me making faces or the double chin here, and no hijab ever, even on the joke side. You know what?
At least I'm just lucky that my injury is not visible on camera. I smashed my foot dropped a handicap ramp on it yesterday, and my big toe on my right foot's like the size of a tennis ball right now.
Yeah, I know, but I don't. It's a habit, right? We gotta injure ourselves. Like, you normally tend to injure yourself on your hand, especially your fingers and your foot, and then mine is definitely neck up. That's where I like to injure myself, except my wrist. I like to twist my wrist too, or land on it when I'm falling down the stairs.
Well, I learned my lesson though. No more stealing wheelchair ramps.
Okay, we'll see about that. Until the next time. And that's not the end of the show. That's just until the next time he does it. And then he's going to say, do you see that little paw stretch all the way up here to get my attention? What do you want, Emma? Hi, you're very cute. Are you going to join the show? See, Connor's planning to join the show, but he hasn't yet. And technically, Mocha's picture is on the thumbnail, so I don't know how he would feel about me putting you on camera.
Yeah, Connor's out like a light in my living room right now, so I don't think he's jumping in tonight.
I know, with all the rain we had, my cat's been pretty much sleeping all day. Don't get me wrong, I wish I could take a nap. Okay, wow, I'm so good at distracting the whole seriousness of topic. That's why women should not lead conversations. Oh, I'm sexist. Oh, I'm a sexist.
Sometimes you got to run with the distraction. You never know what it leads to.
Exactly. But here, one thing we did say. Lead with hijab. Let's talk about my best friend. The hijab
her.
Actually, no, let's not talk about it. You got me the video. Let's play the video, which is like 55 seconds first, and then come back and talk about it. Here we go.
advice garay inaanan ku jawaabin qasab ma aha magacaaga iyo sharciga ku joogtid iyo waxaas oo dhan isa ku imaataybo inaad kala hadashid marka baro sharciyada iskuna diyaari in aad maxaa la dhahaa isheeg aadan dadkaaniiti aadan u sheegin information aadan
Whatever.
Yeah.
No, not whatever. Let's do this. She's a congresswoman for love of all things law and order, Michael.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, no, not at all. And I'm actually looking up the name of this specific crime that she committed. So I'm sorry, it's on the tip of my tongue. But there is a name for that for assisting, advising illegal immigrants to break the law. That is a further crime. It's not one we usually hear about. I'm sorry, the word's on the tip of my tongue. But, it's her and a few others now have gone out and done this, directly advised illegal immigrants to further break the law and attempt to hide from ICE. And honestly, I think her and the other two need to be prosecuted for it.
Exactly. Quickly, before I go on my rant and start yelling and screaming and hurting my giant cyst, shout out to everybody on the chat. Rumble, we have Dylan. Hi, Dylan. Thanks for joining us. Josh is here. Thank you, Josh, for your contribution. And then, yes, I agree with comment from X, Mission for Freedom, Miriam Shaw. You can catch her show, Mission for Freedom, right here on X America News every Tuesday and Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And she's right. What a joke. My thoughts exactly. Michael, let's play what I like to play, the game of comparison.
Yes.
Let's say this was Tulsi Gabbard. Let's say this was Congresswoman Boebert. Better, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh boy. She was in handcuffs right now. She was facing impeachment and trial and imprisonment.
Yeah, it'd be the only thing we heard about for the next week. And that could be like if she had given this same type of legal advice to say January 6th defendants that were being hunted by the FBI. You can guarantee you they would have drug her into court. They would have charged her with probably treason and tried to execute her. So I think these three ought to be tried for, because I think it's Ilhan Omar, it's AOC, and I can't remember if the other one was Presley or who it was, but it was another lunatic lefty that's doing the same thing, instructing people on how they can either fudge the system or directly violate the law and lie to ICE. And then AOC is out there too, trying to get people to start their own social networks to warn people of ICE raids coming in their area. So this is directly aiding and abetting a criminal enemy of the United States, people that are here violating our borders and violating the law. And the American people have had it with it. It's pretty sad that even 70% of Democrats, 65 to 70%, depending on what poll you read, they want this problem resolved. They're tired of having their cities destroyed, especially small towns like Springfield, Ohio, or down there closer to Cincinnati, over in Loveland, close to where you're at, where they dumped 10,000 North Africans in there. It's literally destroyed the city. People have had it. Yes,
people have had it. But then the interesting thing is just zooming in, focusing on Ilhan Omar. When you look at the pile of crimes she has committed, and again, everybody knows I don't belong to the side of aisle. I'm neither Republican nor Democrat. I'm independent. I am anti-Islam, anti-Sharia activist. However, she has literally committed these crimes, from marrying her brother to bring him to America, from being part of defund the police, from literally meeting with those that are official enemies, such as Iran's former president who died, such as Erdogan, the man who has repeatedly made threats toward America, from now in her mother tongue, which, by the way, I don't know if it's just me or she isn't as fluent as she should be, but that's besides the point. Telling Somalians, illegals, how to escape the law. This resume, this would what a normal average American, Michael, would be referred to as a long sheet of crimes. They have not even bothered. And this is where I'm going to say, I know where things are still new. I get it, but I'm expecting someone from Trump administration to start saying something and then taking action towards Ilhan Omar, because I know people are tired, but I am sick and tired of Ilhan Omar. She needs to freaking go.
Yeah. Well, Pam Bondi was just sworn in earlier today, so we do need to give her a little time to operate. But I agree. I think we need another. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, I believe, issued a criminal referral for Ilhan Omar's immigration, marrying her brother and all that, and to investigate other fraud that she committed along the way. So maybe it's time for Pam Bondi to pick that up and at the very least investigate things, because this would be a valid reason to, a lot of people don't know this, but you can revoke a naturalized American's citizenship if they violated the law in order to gain access to the country. So this would be a perfect example of that. And you know what? Maybe she seems to like Somalia better than the U.S. anyway. She said the president of Somalia is her president. I don't remember if that was in the same speech or if that was a previous one, because I know she said it multiple times. So maybe she can go back to Somalia and she can try to make Somalia great again. And take her brother with her.
Exactly.
Brother/husband.
Michael, let's get your microphone a little closer to you. I lost your audio a little bit. There we go.
That.
No, you're okay. And I'm glad you said that, because it was about 6-7 months ago, maybe a little longer. Time flies by. But she stood there and told her fellow Somalians that she is in American Congress representing Somalians. Listen, yes. This woman's been out there telling us what her deal is. She has compared America to terrorists. She has literally flat out stated how much she hates America. And now, what you're saying is very correct. If you're a naturalized citizen, if you commit a felony, a judge has the right to revoke your citizenship. However, they don't necessarily deport you, but you do lose your citizenship. And she has committed 3, at least that I'm aware of, with evidence out there. She has committed 3 crimes that all it takes is one federal judge to revoke her citizenship. But step one is I don't want her anywhere near lawmaking of this country. I don't.
Exactly.
She needs to go away, and some of her friends need to go with her.
Yeah. Well, again, we don't need anybody in Congress that's loyalty is not to the United States, and she's very clearly said she's Somalia first, on record in Somalian multiple times. So this is something that needs to go. She doesn't belong in Congress, as you said, and she shouldn't be anywhere near these people. Like, she shouldn't have the power that we're granting her by her position. And like you said, the normal process, if somebody was here, a naturalized citizen, and committed a felony, they could have their citizenship stripped. But because the crimes that she's committed are directly related to immigration and defrauding the immigration department, she can be thrown out of the country for that, not just her citizenship revoked. She can be forcefully deported for defrauding our immigration system. Yes,
that's very true. And we have Perry on X. Hello, Michael and Annie. Hi, Perry. Thanks for joining us. And we have PM. Here's the thing, PM Aminpur. If you don't mind, I know that I don't know if you mind or not, but because I'm dying out of curiosity from last show to know if my guess about the P on your name is correct or not, on the comment, let me know what's your name. If not, I'm just going to say what I think it is, and that's it. I'm going to call you that name moving forward. I mean, it's my imagination, but anyhow. Okay, Emma, you really need to settle because we are actually live. Like, this is not pre-record where I can stop, pet you, and then get back to the show.
Of course.
Sorry.
Now it's when she wants attention. Yes.
Absolutely. Like, all day I've been ignored by Emma, but now Emma's like, hey, look, and she's so cute. It's hard. And when I don't pet her, she's literally clawing my wrist. Or no, this is not. What do we call this? What is it?
Your elbow, your arm. Man, maybe you do need to get that looked at.
I'm telling you, this cyst is running up to my brain, I guess. Or maybe existence of Ilhan Omar is what's getting. It's not just Ilhan Omar. It's Ilhan Omar, it's Rashida Tlaib. And by the way, I want to be very clear. For anybody who thinks I'm picking on Ilhan Omar today because she's a practicing Sharia obeying Muslim, you're incorrect. Ilhan Omar could have been Jennifer Smith with blonde hair, blue eyes. I would still pick on her the same way. An illegal act is an illegal act.
Well, yeah, I was picking on AOC yesterday for the same thing, and then Ilhan Omar has to double down on stupid, so now we gotta pick on her too.
Okay, Payam. I don't know why I thought it's Paymon, but I'll take Payam for it. Thanks. Okay, my curiosity is now answered. I'm good. See, that's good. Hey, William. Punter Buck on X. It's a cat. Emma is a cat who's trying to climb up here. And I have learned over the years to set up my setup where cats cannot walk on my desk right in front of the camera. So it's hard for them. But if you pay attention, you'll see her little paw coming from here, tapping me for attention. Maybe we should start a new show, Michael. And then it's just Emma and Connor. We just sit there and let them do whatever they want to do. How's that?
Yeah, he'll just sit here and his tongue will hang out and he'll stare at the camera occasionally.
Okay, here's the thing, Michael. P that ended up not being Paymon and it ended up being Payam. He is watching us all the way from Tehran, Iran. Woohoo!
That's awesome. Dude, you stay safe out there. Hopefully help's on the way. We're going to get to that soon enough too.
Yes. And since you brought it up, let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about that for a long minute.
Yeah.
Let me turn my stiff neck over. I'm going to put this on the screen and I'm going to actually try to read it word by word. Just bear with me. This was a letter sent to President Trump and published publicly by Prince Pahlavi on January 20th, 2025. Dear Mr. President, congratulations on your inauguration. During your first term, you stood boldly and courageously with the Iranian people against the illegitimate and criminal regime occupying Iran. Today, the team you have assembled gives Iranian renewed hope that those principles and policies will continue. I will skip the rest to the very bottom. Mr. President, you have the opportunity to go beyond the groundbreaking Abraham Accords by helping to facilitate the Cyrus Accords. Uniting Israel, Arab nations, and a free Iran, you can transform the Middle East and the world. I'll leave it there. You can find this on his own X account, Prince Pahlavi, Reza Pahlavi. This letter was sent on January 20th. If you remember, Michael, I saw it that day. I called you, and that very paragraph I just read, I actually broke into tears, couldn't even read through it. And let me dissect that sentence. When Prince Pahlavi talks about Cyrus Accord, he is referring, for those of my fellow Christians, he's actually referring to Cyrus the Great, mentioned in the Bible, the very Cyrus who freed the Jews from Babylon. That is what he's referring to. The moment when President Trump can actually make history, mentioned on that letter, I skipped through it, it was a longer letter, make history after so many years to be the American president who did stop this Islamization and the jihad in Middle East and united Iranian people and Jewish people. I think that's doable, Michael.
I do too. And I think we ought to talk, this wouldn't be something to discuss on air, but I think I have a way to make sure that Trump's seen that letter.
Well, here's the thing. I know for a fact he has seen that letter. And this is where my very first complaint is going to come up. Oh boy. Buckle up, those of you who support Trump no matter what. Those of you who thinks he does no wrong, and those of you who think he's your savior. Buckle up, I'm about to offend you badly. President Trump have had the time to sit down with Netanyahu come up with this absolutely crazy idea. Make it public. Go out there and talk about it. That, hey, why don't we, U.S., goes and owns Gaza? But are you telling me, Michael, he hasn't had the time to make one call to our prince and say, hey, buddy, let's talk?
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, like a phone call seems to be pretty reasonable. I'd like to see like an actual meeting, sit down, and that also would put the mullahs in Iran on notice that they know President Trump is already talking to Pahlavi. And again, they'll obviously know the content of this letter. I mean, I think that would be dual purpose and a much better message, because the Gaza thing, I agree with Rand Paul. I voted for America first. I certainly don't want to get involved over in Gaza. And not to mention, if we move 1.7 million people out of that area, that's going to put a giant target on our back over here in the States and around the world. That will undoubtedly lead to a massive spike in terrorism.
Yes. Quick thank you to Tammy, Jay, ID Grace on Rumble. Thank you so much for your contribution. And since we have had two people today, let me just say on a Rumble account of Aki News, where we're live also, you can contribute with making donations directly on the Rumble chat. So if you want to support what we do, feel free to click that $ and make a donation. I appreciate everybody who's doing it today. Yes, so here, let me break this down. As you know, I need to be careful, right, Michael? Because I'm Iranian, and then I don't want to be anti-Semite. Who doesn't want to be anti-Muslim? Oh my goodness, my life is hard.
It's too complicated.
Come here. You see, now you run. You're going to either sit here and let me talk, or you're going to leave this room and let me talk. Either way, you're going to let me talk. This is about to get serious, Emma. Forget about my background. Okay, let's say I was born and raised here in New York for whatever reason. Some people think that. The complication in Middle East, it is proven, those of us, Michael, who have done this study, including yourself, we know where the root of the problems in Middle East lies, which is the regime of Iran. Okay? Palestinians, Palestinian Authority, ISIS, Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthis, you name them. None of them will survive more than a month if the regime of Iran is not the regime of Iran that is currently. Now, you have a crowned prince. Mind you again, he was never decrowned. His father was never decrowned. So he is Prince Pahlavi, crowned, and up to this moment, you have a crowned prince reaching out to you saying, I'm ready. Are you ready? There is no excuse. There is no backing. There is no strategy. There's no diplomatic movement. There is nothing except, yes, I'm ready. Forget about Gaza. Forget about all of it. Saudi Arabia, all of them. This is priority. Here's my problem. President Trump has shown that he has already started making moves about Middle East. The one and only move that he needs to make is sit down with our friends. The people of Iran have already declared that they are ready for this regime to be toppled, not yesterday or day before that. Since 2009 and Green Movement, people of Iran have stood by and say, U.S., help. They have never asked for military help. Never. So this isn't for anybody out there, oh, you're promoting war. I'm not even saying let's attack Iran. We don't even need to do that. All we need to do, all President Trump needs to do is sit down with Prince Pahlavi. I get it. There are Iranians out there, if watching, like, we don't like the Pahlavi dynasty. We don't like the Pahlavi people. Listen, that's okay, because Prince Pahlavi has declared very loudly that he is not looking for monarchy and he's not willing to go and take power as a king. He has said he's willing to do temporary government until people of Iran decide the fate of the next government of their country. So shush. He's not looking for that crown.
Well, again, I think this is exactly the message. Like Trump sitting down with the prince, especially after the announcement yesterday of the return to the maximum pressure sanctions against Iran. And I guess they're going to try to scoop back some of this money Biden laundered to them as well. But also, we're in a position of strength again right now. We can strongly encourage some of Iran's allies to halt trade with them. We can bankrupt this government in a matter of weeks, if not months. Just by reinstituting the sanctions and forceful encouragement. And we don't have to do anything militarily. But sending this message, sitting down with the prince, backing him up on this would be a perfect way to both inspire the people of Iran and again put some serious pressure on the mullahs where they start looking for an exit strategy, because they're going to see the writing on the wall soon enough too. They're not going to have money coming in from Russia anymore. This war in Ukraine will probably end shortly, and I'm pretty sure nobody's going to be giving Zelensky any nuclear weapons like he wants. But once that's over, that leaves what, China, and we can apply enough pressure to China to get them to cease trade as well. So they're going to be totally isolated. And as you said, they're planning on being back in the streets anyway for the anniversary of Masa Amini's death. But, the sooner the better. But you're right. This is a huge, huge missed opportunity.
Yes. Hello back to Jay Kips asking on Rumble channel of X America News. Quick plug, guys, here. X America News, it is on the lower third. We are on X, formerly known as Twitter, which I don't have to say it with my mispronunciation anymore. Haha. the one reason I could try to like Elon Musk. X Rumble YouTube. X Rumble YouTube. The handle is X America News. Find us, follow us, subscribe, share with your friends. We gotta get to a certain level of subscribers and followers to be able to do more with those channels. So head over.
Yes.
Punterbach says, honestly, I think a deal with Iran would calm the entire regime. That's just me. Deal with Iran as of the current mullah's regime? Absolutely not. Reason for that, been there, done that, didn't work. You can't make a deal with the devil. But making a deal with Iran as the people of Iran who are looking forward to getting rid of this regime and having a more solid government, absolutely, I'm with you on that. And that's where it goes back to Mr. President. Rand Paul said, I thought we voted for America first regarding the Gaza move. But here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to step over here into the Middle East for a second. Millions, this is by fact, millions, more than 2, of Iranian Americans voted for you, Mr. President, because you promised that you will stand by the people of Iran and not the regime of mullahs. It's time to deliver. Millions of Iranians inside and outside of America are watching you. Every time you're hinting in Middle East and you're leaving Iran out of it, you're making him question your promise. You putting out a message of you have certain things ready to go if IRGC or Iranian Thai people harm you or kill you, they're going to be demolished. That's not really taking a stand. That even sounds a little selfish, to be honest with you. They are not going to take you out at this point. They did what they had to do. They failed. Their strategy now is to play nice with you. Don't let this regime fool you. They are the same evil group of people whom 45 years ago took Americans hostages, tortured them, starved them, and then convinced Carter to give them back then $5 million with a clean slate of zero debt country to ruin. These are the same people. So I am asking you as an American, as my president, to deliver on your promise, put maximum pressure, not just sanctions, put maximum pressure on Iranian regime. Michael, I brought it up with you a few days ago, maybe today, I don't know, days are blurring into each other. We do have 4 American citizens held in Iranian prisons. You're negotiating release of American prisoners everywhere else. Why are you not touching Iran yet? Why haven't you told the Iranian regime that if they don't release the American prisoners, they're going to have face consequences? What is that all about, Michael?
Well, that's a good point. And, maybe they haven't got to it yet. Grinnell's kind of working the rounds on getting Americans released different places. But that should be high on the list. I mean, how long have these 4 been held for? What's the longest?
I want to say one, which is Iranian American journalist who's facing spying for America and Israel, is about, 2019. So that's what, 6 years almost?
Yeah, so that's way longer than these people were being held in Venezuela. Now, I get it. Their little junta dictator down there is scared out of his mind right now because of other things, other situations changing in South America and his options rapidly depleting. But yeah, still to your point. Again, this would be a good move and a good way to show them We're not playing around this time. You guys sent multiple assassination teams to go after him, to go after Pompeo, to go after I just blanked out.
His entire administration of back the first term. The bounty was on all of them.
Yeah. What's it? The warmongering mustache man. They just took a security clearance. Like Bolton. You know. So like now is the time to put them in their place, and again that will also inspire the people. We won't have to get directly involved militarily, or if we do, we come in and play cleanup and grab these Islamists that we want, the ones that are responsible for other American deaths or whatever. We can send a couple special forces teams to do that. The people will retake the country on their own. We won't have to do anything.
No. Shout out to Dan DeRayer on Ex America News Rumble channel, and we have perfect. Okay, Ponterbach agrees. Deal with the people. Yes, we are with you on that, and thank you. I'm gonna steal what you just said, Ponterbach. Remember, we are the media. We are guys. Yeah. We are about to step it up. Well, I mean, what more step up can you do in matter of few weeks? As we said at the beginning of this program, Ex America News have a, variety of lineup. Michael, one thing I have noticed, which is pretty cool, is you tune into Ex America News from morning to night, the variety of opinions. You have the independents like myself and Shannon Joy. You have the more right leanings like yourself and Derek Evans. And then you have the whistleblowers, FBI whistleblower, Steve Friend, and help me...
Garrett O'Boyle. And, right now, I talked to a little inside baseball. Like I talked to Steve a little earlier today, and, his moles within the FBI, they are waiting for this move. So guys, like, you think things have been crazy for the last week where Doge goes into these places? You haven't seen nothing yet. Wait till Kash Patel's confirmed and Doge is in the FBI building. You're going to see some sparks and some fireworks.
Exactly. So point is, Ex America News, we are the media, so get behind us. And again, we're not asking for anything. We're basically asking to follow, subscribe, share, like. I think all of those would be about a 35-second. And in return, you have true reporters, journalists, independent. We get paid by no one. We don't.
Yes.
And that is the beauty of it. I mean, myself, as you know, Michael, I've been doing this. I do feel old, not because of the gray hair. 10 years. I've been on camera for 10 years, collecting bounties. We're up to 12 now. Woohoo! So I'm waiting for the 13th one. I don't know when that's coming. I mean, that's my lucky number. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, we're independent. We get paid by no one. Nobody controls our minds. Nobody puts a gag order on us. We call a spade. We even disagree. Listen, me and Michael, on air we have disagreed. And that is absolutely fine. The whole purpose of He Said, She Said was to be able to reteach our fellow Americans that it is completely okay not to agree on 100% of things. But if you do have one common love that is for country of America, this nation, then we can work together. I don't really care. I mean, what is it that you identify as? Remind me again, Michael. The other week.
I usually say a left-handed pansexual leprechaun.
I still love him. It's all good. You know why? Because he wakes up every morning and he thinks of ways to educate America and Americans about dangers. That's all I care for. I mean, he walks around as break his foot too.
Yeah,
but
I gotta stop doing that.
Yes.
Just wait till I have my eye surgery here in March. Then I'm gonna be on here with a pirate patch for a while.
Yes, Punterbach. I'm guessing his talk about your shirt. Just a dude. I absolutely love the shirt. Where did you get your shirt, Michael?
I got this one from a company that was trying to get to do some merchandise for us as a sample. I'm still looking for somebody else that'll do prints. But unfortunately, they sent me one price beforehand and then told me that we were going to have to sell them for a ridiculous price to our audience. I didn't think you guys would want to pay $70 a shirt. So I said, no, thank you. I'll find someone else. But
well, then, Punterbuck, you're going to have to love it from far away and not own one, because apparently unless you go and get a price and be overpriced and then change their mind, you won't get a sample. I do like that shirt too.
Well, I am looking for another vendor that'll do that, and actually we should have some merchandise up on Teespring here shortly. It won't be anything as flashy as my gun Hawaiian shirt here, But I will find a company that'll do the prints for us. It's just there's a lot going on.
You know what? You guys get the Teespring going. I'm pretty sure I can recreate that shirt somewhat and do it. Uh-oh. I think, okay, Punter Buck, if you were talking about my shirt, the dude at the beginning of your sentence threw me off. But thank you. This is a hoodie, actually, but thank you. Yes, this one I got from Amazon. That's where I get everything. You never need to ask me where I got what, because everything is Amazon. It's my thing. Oh, guess who's here with us? Larry's here, Michael. Or Larry.
Oh, awesome. Nice. What's up, Larry? And Dan Dreyer, frequent, he's there every morning for the insurrection.
Yes. And well, you see, now okay, so Dan likes your shirt. That one I think is yours. Turn your volume up. I know, you see, I thought it's just my ear, but Michael, seems like we do need more volume from your end. Just a tad bit more.
All right, I don't have a way to adjust it right now, but I'll make sure it's up more. I boost it when we're recording, and I've got control, but right now it's just whatever goes through this machine.
Gotcha. Well, try to scream like me a little bit. Josh says, this may be just too simple to actually do in reality, but seems like some of these shithole countries, just a messenger here, just needs to a scorched earth approach. Let them know that America is not effing around anymore. Okay, Josh. What? Yeah. Okay. Now.
I mean, honestly, I don't care if some little third world 10-pot dictator wants to run their mouth. They're not going to do anything, especially some of these fools in South America. We don't need to be going around like dropping bombs on people because they're talking smack. I don't think that resolves anything either. Now, that being said, like, I think I for one do think like we have a legitimate threat that we ought to go in and I believe in what they used to call the Walter Williams doctrine. Walter Williams is a commentator, a philosopher, an economist, wrote many books. You guys ought to pick them up. But he used to fill in host for Rush Limbaugh, and he used to put it like this, that, and I may have some of the numbers off a little bit here, but the United States has 24 Ohio-class nuclear submarines. Each Ohio-class nuclear submarine carries 24 or 18 MIRV and nuclear warheads. Each MIRV warhead contains 5 independently targeted nuclear bombs that our policy ought to be just to nuke them till they glow green and then shoot them in the dark. That if anybody poses a legitimate threat to the United States, we just wipe them off the map completely. No boots on the ground, no anything. You just solve the problem.
Yes, and let me give a different point of view to this. You see, we hear a lot about a lot of these countries, right? Whatever we call them. I wouldn't go as far as calling it what Josh called it. Maybe I'm biased because I come from one of those countries. And that's where, you know, if you would go to Iran, Michael, not considering the regime, just the country, the land by itself. I've told you many times, the nature, gorgeous. We had in Iran, you find 2 deserts, 2 mountains, and 2, which is the Gulfs, right? Very rare thing to find. You can't name that many countries who have all of that in one. Gorgeous country, gorgeous culture, beautiful nature. But then, you know, we listen to the regime and we call it what, you know, Josh would call it. Or even, and apparently, I actually saw this on one of the shows. It was funny. We're not even supposed to call a third world country. It's a developing country, which I disagree with that, because developing country, what do we mean by like, Iran is not a developing country. They're almost done with their nuclear bomb. I think they're past developing at this point, right?
Yeah, they're a repressed country. That's what they are. Is they're held down by this Islamic dictatorship. You're right, the country is a beautiful place.
We, the people of those countries, actually call our lands a conquered land. Iran is conquered. It's beautiful. The people of Iran are very well educated. You've met some Iranians, Michael, you know. Yeah. We are all about hospitality and food and gatherings and music and art. But if now getting over that part of it, a lot of these countries, if they would see a tad bit of a support just like Iran, They don't agree with their governments or regimes or dictatorship. They don't. The problem is the Western countries benefit too much from the chaos over there. So we all know this is not some, made up story. A lot of what has happened just to Iran by itself, Afghanistan, the creation of Pakistan. That's one of the documentaries I'm working on, Michael. A lot of people don't understand. It was the UK, it was the Great Britain that created the country we know as Pakistan today. There was no Pakistan. They created it. They created the monster of Pakistan. So it comes back to, no, it's not as simple as going and killing a bunch of people or burning down countries. I mean, stop. It's the fact of, can we hold our own governments accountable to stop butting in, like going and getting Gaza? That's one of the stop butting in positions. Even the Palestinians. Michael, do you really think if Hamas was out of the picture, those Palestinians would want to do what they do? Do you really think they're not tired of it? A lot of Palestinians cross over to Israel and go live a peaceful life.
Yes. Yeah. Honestly, I think if we go in there and we take control of Gaza, we're just going to have it. It's just going to make things worse. It's going to ignite new conflicts. It'll put a giant bullseye on our back here in the United States that there will be a call to violence here. I just don't see the upside to this one. I mean, I think this is kind of Trump trying to do the same thing he did with North Korea, entice them a little bit with the prospect of wealth and a better future for their country and their people. But I don't think the people of Gaza are the ones that care about that kind of thing. I think Kim Jong-un, North Korea, there's a better chance of that working. But at the same time, that's not the way it works here. I mean, these people are literally used as human shields, even the ones that don't want to fight. And unfortunately, we know about 65% of them do support Hamas, Hezbollah, and the rest of these terrorist organizations. They indoctrinate their kids from an early age. When you walk into a Palestinian grade school, up on the wall, instead of seeing, a sports figure, some other, hero, firefighters, police officers, maybe. No, you see portraits of terrorists, of suicide bombers, killed children, whoever got the highest kill count of the Jews. That's who they honor. That's who they aspire to be. So unfortunately, until that changes, that nothing will change there. And there will be a constant war and a constant conflict.
Yes. Question from Larry. What is your opinion about deporting the illegals to South America? Would you allow them to come back legally?
No. I don't want to answer for you, so go you first, then I'll jump in.
Sure, let me address something. Payam John, feel free to send them to me privately via email. And if it's easier to do it in Farsi, you can do that to liveuptofreedom@gmail.com, liveuptofreedom@gmail.com. Sorry, Payam just said there's a lot he wants to tell me, but unfortunately that's not possible. So I figured the public forum is not easy for him to put it on. No. So here's my stance. It doesn't matter where the illegals are from. It doesn't matter, even from Iran. If it's first time is the only hard time. Any concept of life, the first time is when the fear is gone after you commit whatever act. If you broke the law, if you had zero respect for this country to break the law and come in illegally, regardless of your circumstances, as someone who wasted 3 precious years of my life not to come in illegally, no. You shall not have a second chance to break the law or commit a crime against this country again. That's where I stand.
Bingo. And I'm pretty much in the same boat. I mean, I think it is on the vast majority of people that came over illegally over the last 4 years are economic migrants. And unfortunately, there are probably a small number of people that did come here with legitimate concerns that could have been lawful asylum seekers, but they chose to break the law with the rest of the people. So yeah, I think they all need to be deported. There does need to be some sort of a stay, whether it's 20 years or 10 years before they can have any kind of lawful entry back to the United States. The only exception I would say to that would be maybe for kids under 10. If they want to lawfully apply to come in later on a student visa program or something like that, then, you probably shouldn't hold the sins of their parents over their heads. They didn't choose to be here the way their parents took them, when their parents took them over the border. Otherwise, it's a 20-year halt. They broke the law. Everybody knew what they were doing. I do feel sorry for the small number that were legitimate asylum claims, but when things are this bad, we can't sit there and keep making exceptions.
Exactly, and again, it comes back to 22 coming here 23 years ago. I came to America where I had such there was this like wow factor. It's America, and then today it's like that's the best way I can describe how I'm feeling about this whole illegals versus legals. We have bent over backward way too much. We have forgotten. Oh, she managed. Okay. Hi, Emma. If you're coming up here, you're gonna have to behave. Okay. Don't click anything. Don't switch cameras. Just sit
and enjoy the show.
And
I know
sorry.
plenty of people that struggled, that got here the legal way, and they had it hard the first few years, but they got through it, and now they're successful and they're part of American culture. That's the other problem right now with having this mass illegal immigration, is that we've created these enclaves all over the country. I mean, I can drive up the road 20 minutes and go to Springfield, and I can go into plenty of places now that they only speak Creole, that they're totally isolated from the rest of the city, that they've got their own little thing going on. Same with the northern Cincinnati and Loveland, and numerous places throughout Texas. The whole country, really. There's enclaves all over the place. We can't allow that to happen. Like, that is an invasion. And again, it's primarily been military-aged men. Around 70% of the people crossing the border. It's not families, it's not kids. It's primarily military-aged men. And most of them are not here to work, unfortunately. So something has to be done. The problem has to be solved. I do feel bad for the small number of people that had legitimate asylum claims, but unfortunately, we are way past that right now. There's nothing we can do. We have to fix the problem first, then we can talk about opening up legitimate asylum claims again.
Oh, and if I could, since we're at it, if you ask me, I really think we need to step up our requirement for citizenship again. I am sick and tired of everybody goes and becomes a citizen. I know Biden said this. I don't know if you remember, if our audience remember, there was a point where Biden said, "What is being an American?" You can't even describe what being an American. And you know what? That is the time I agree with Biden. Yeah. We can't even describe it anymore. When I became a citizen, I was working my butt off for almost 6 months before my citizenship test. I had CDs and a lot of flash drives and books. I had to study. I had to make sure I can learn all of it and I can answer all the questions, and I had to be able to write stuff. Look, one of the reasons a lot of newbies, as I call them, are not fluent. I'm not saying I'm the best when it comes to English, but I can carry my weight. I can have a full discussion, a full understanding and comprehension of what I'm being told. Most of newbies don't. You know why? Because it's not required to learn English in order to pass your citizenship test anymore. It is not required to answer 10 questions about the Constitution anymore. We gotta step up that situation. As if you ask me, not only we gotta clean up the legals versus illegals, but even the ones that came to this country legally, they still need to learn American ways, American values, and be able to describe what it means to be an American before they become citizens.
Absolutely. And for plenty of times in our history, we've stopped or greatly reduced immigration, whether that was from some countries or entirely, to create a space, some time for people to actually assimilate and become part of the community. And that's the real problem we have right now with these enclaves, is people are not assimilating and becoming Americans. I get wanting to come here for a better life economically, and you know what, under other circumstances that should be a possibility for people, but you still have to become part of the country. And that doesn't mean you completely erase your culture and forget all your traditions and everything else, but no, we still, if you're going to be here, you need to be part of American society. You can still have your friends over for your New Year's party every year, or you can still have a Chinese New Year, or you have whatever other local celebrations you used to have in whatever country you came from. And that's a good thing. And invite your American friends over, share your culture. but you can't be just that. You're here in the U.S. You're here to become an American, become part of American society and American culture. If you're not, then sorry, go back home to wherever you came from, because that's clearly the better place for you.
Exactly. I mean, you have joined me on at least 4 Persian Nowruz New Year.
Oh yeah.
And it's fun when it happens, but then at the same time, when Christmas comes around or New Year, I'm all out. Like, I'm probably, I go more mad than anybody else when it comes to it. And also another thing is, and I know we're coming to an end of our show, and there's a very, very, very good question from Dan that I want to get to. But let me just say this. I have had this question or comments thrown at me millions of times of how is it that foreigners, and I don't take that personal when people say that. At the end of the day, I am a foreigner who has adapted and assimilated into America. But the question is, why is it that we have more foreigners fighting for America than Americans? And I'll tell you why. Going back to what Biden said, Americans have forgotten what being an American means. And that is thanks to our education system. That is thanks to Common Core. That is thanks to parents who are not sitting down on Sunday dinner and explain to their kids, hey, you are blessed to be born in this country, but that doesn't mean you don't have to fight for it.
Yes. Well, and I think a lot of people I talk to too that have lived under oppression somewhere else, whether it's you or Lily Tang Williams or many others now, they understand more the freedoms, the rights, and protections that we have here, and they value them more than a lot of people that have grown up under this system and now take that for granted. They don't understand the Americans, the natural born Americans. A lot of them don't understand how quickly that could all go away and how important it is for all of us to defend. But somebody like you that has seen the other side of that coin, lived under political oppression, religious oppression, everything else, you know exactly what's at stake. And that's why people like you, Lily Tang Williams, and many others have stepped up and fought the way they have. Zy Van Fleet, she's another great example. But that's why people understand it. And if you don't need somebody that's on media, go down to Miami, talk to some of these guys that came up from Cuba. They'll give you all kinds of hellish stories.
Exactly. Okay, you go first on this, Michael. Dan is asking, could the Gaza become a future Dubai?
No, I just don't see it happening. I mean, this is the thing. Like, it's going to put a giant target on their back too. Any business that opens there, they're going to be dealing with terrorists for the next 50 years.
I would say I like where you're going with this, Dan. I do, because I heard somebody else today saying that, it was Shannon Joyce. It's like, well, I guess we're going to put a Trump hotel in the middle of it too. I can see that being the mindset, but few things. So Dubai became Dubai for the fact that, number one, the entire constitution, the governing of it, is not Sharia. It has nothing to do with Islam. Secondly, it wasn't a land that group of people were fighting over. Now, Gaza is a very rich land, I'll tell you that much. There's interest. But neither the Israeli side nor the Palestinian side are open to the idea of Dubai form of Gaza. So I agree with Michael. It's not going to happen. And I want to emphasize again, I think this is a terrible idea. I really hope President Trump's going to wake up tomorrow and say, hey, guys, listen, I got carried away. Netanyahu was kind of going on. It was a joke. Never mind. Let's go back to the next terrifying idea, which is Larry Ellison and the AI project. I'll take that fight better. I'd rather fight Larry Ellison than Palestinian Authority. I'll be honest with you, Michael.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't see what the upside is or how anything good could come of it or work there. If the situation were completely different, and let's say like the numbers were reversed, only 35% of the people in Gaza supported their terrorist government, maybe there'd be hope for something like this. But right now, it's impossible. It's an impossibility.
Yes, and remember when we talk numbers, Gaza on the border, on the map, you'll see the Palestinian fights versus Israelis on Gaza, but that's not the real fight. You're talking Hezbollah, Houthis, IRGC, Iran's mullahs, Taliban soon to become. It's not just the percentage of the Palestinian people. Listen, Islamic Republic of Iran, again, going back to the original point, if you take the mullahs out, there might be a chance. Those mullahs are going to kill every single Palestinian if need to be to keep Gaza.
Exactly. Yeah, and you bring up a good point, something I did miss. That's, a lot of these fighters in this last conflict after October 7th, they were bussed in from elsewhere. They were, Houthis. They were people from Lebanon. It was remnants of Islamic Jihad. It was, you name it, they were there. It was a regular circus show.
Yes. Okay. We need to close out here. So quick shout out to everybody on chat, on Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, X, everywhere. Jay keeps asking. Thank you, Dan. Thank you so much for all of your question. Grace, which is Tammy, and Josh, thank you so much for your questions, your comments, and your contribution. And then who am I missing? Payam, Punterbuck, Larry, everybody who was here with us. We appreciate you. Remember, this is every Wednesday. We're going to be here now. There might be a Wednesday where Michael's alone or I'm alone. Life goes on. I don't know. Next week I might have a cyst all over my face, but it's every Wednesday. Every Wednesday.
I hope not.
No, we won't let it get that far. No. But every Wednesday, right at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be here with He Said, She Said. And again, we want to encourage you. As you know, we're both very good at engaging with you. I want you to get involved. I want you to send us an email. Make suggestions on topics. You come across a video you want us to discuss or play, send it our way. For now, you can use liveuptofreedom@gmail.com, liveuptofreedom@gmail.com. Be involved. The purpose of He Said, She Said is to get everybody involved. So be involved. Don't shy away. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, exactly. We want to be able to have real conversations again, really discuss the issues. I mean, this show is a little serious compared to some of the other ones, but right now it's a serious time. We do need to address these problems before they get out of control. I mean, that's the thing. I think by and large, the Trump administration has done a great job with taking down the deep state and digging into, well, let's put it this way. I think the fireworks haven't even started there yet. But when we do see a problem, it does need to be addressed. We should be able to discuss it. And Trump is not above criticism. If he's doing something like this that doesn't make any sense, we should talk about it. At the same time, when he does something great like this takedown at USAID, this just keeps getting better and better. The more information that we get out of it, and while this money was getting laundered to, that should be celebrated. Absolutely.
And I'm going to ask all of our audience to, of course, keep praying, because I believe in power of prayers, but then taking action. But we have Josh on the comment section and Payam. Pray for both of them. They are not doing so great with their mental health. Let's pray for them for clarity and guidance, and lift them up in prayers. Thank you so much, guys. Remember, X America News on Rumble, on YouTube, on X. We need your support. We need your follows. Head over there, whichever one is your preferred platform. We have programming Monday through Friday, and then some on Saturday, some on Sundays. We're building up. We need you. X America News. X America News is where you can head over and get behind this platform that is going to put America first. No, I'm sorry. We're putting Americans first, right, Michael?
That's right. We're going to put Americans first.
Absolutely.
And America.
I will see you all Friday. Michael will see you all tomorrow morning. Me and Michael together will see you